everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do a DIY Dollar Tree. We're going to do 3 summer wreaths. The first one we're going to use this willow wreath. You can get the supplies at the Dollar Tree. I'll tell you if anything's not from the Dollar Tree, okay? As well as some flowers, summer flowers that you want. I have got geraniums and larkspur and then some wildflowers. We're also going to use a pair of gardening gloves. I actually got these from the Dollar General because I like the pink flowers better. And then these mini gardening tools from the dollar spot at Target. This is just an option. I was gifted them and I wanted to use them. Of course, we're going to need some jute, our glue gun, and our scissor. We're going to use those for all 3 projects, but I'm only going to tell you about them once. All right? So the first thing we want to do is obviously take off all our labels, and then we're going to blossom our flowers. We're just gonna pull all of the heads off of the stems. We're also going to use the leaves from the oh, I forgot to tell you, I also have hyacinths, and we're going to use the leaves from the hyacinths because I love the color green they were, this really light colored green, though I am pulling them off of more things than just the hyacinths. So the next thing we want to do is we want to take our gloves and we want to make them into a bow. So I've put the 2 gloves right sides together, or back, the back of your hands basically together. I've rubber banded around just where the elastic was, and then I'm going to open that up to be like a bow. I'm just going to flatten the 2 cuffs out to look like a bow. And then I'm going to add some hot glue in the seam there to kind of glue the pieces together, just to hold the 2 bows together after we cut off all of the hand parts. So once you do, you flip it over and you cut off the hand parts. But don't worry, we're not going to waste them. What I want to do is I want to make the bottom of the bow almost like bow tails. We're going to make them out of 3 fingers each. We're not going to use the pinky and we're not going to use the thumb on the bow tails. So we're just going to use the 3 middle fingers. But what I actually preferred to do was to separate the 3 fingers and re-glue them to where I wanted them to be. Because in all fairness, I wanted this to still look like a pair of gardening gloves, but I didn't want the 5 fingers, and it just was too much with the bow, just to have the rubber band on. The bow just was too, the fingers are just a little too long. So I just wanted to reestablish that the fingers, to glue them there, long one in the middle, sort of, kind of thing. And then I also wanted to take one of the extra fingers, the pinky, and I wanted to wrap it around the middle of the bow. I flipped it over and I glued it on the back, and I actually held it there for quite a few minutes, just to really make sure that it stuck and held really well. But what I actually did before I put the 2 gloves together is I did my little bow fan fold, where you basically pleat the thing back and forth before you stick the 2 right sides together and then rubber band them. And there's how that looks, and I just thought it was super cute. I was trying to think, like, do I want 2 fingers or 3 fingers? Originally I thought 2, but then when I was done I was like, yeah, 3 looks better. Hopefully you guys think 3 looks better, but I wanted to show you the options, okay? So you're just going to glue that 3rd finger on there if you haven't. And then again, there you go. There you have it. And now that's where it will look. So I placed it there so I could see where I'm going to start putting my flowers. And of course, we've done lots of DIYs on flower arranging before, but I always start with my base of leaves. That's what they taught me at 1-800-Flowers. You don't want to fill in your big flowers first. You want them to highlight. You want them to be highlighted, so you want to put them in last. Not big flowers, but your main flowers. Sorry. So what I've done is I put down a little bit of the geraniums, a set of blossoms of the geraniums, both first on the ends of the leaves, and then a little further down, and I filled in the middle with a little pink hydrangea that I had. In all fairness, what I wanted to do was stick with pink and purple flowers. So I just went through my basket. I had, no joke, 1 blossom of pink hydrangea left. So I cut it in half and I put half on each. I had these little wildflowers that have these little, like, green, like almost like faux eucalyptus on them. They were kind of cool. So I kind of added those. What I did, I had them in white with a little pink edge, and I had them in pink. So what I did was the white ones I left full, 3 attached, and then the pink ones I cut the 3 apart, just to sporadically add the color here and there. All right? And I thought the little green on the end of those wildflowers really just did add a little something. And then I took, the very end, I took the larkspur. I have larkspur as my birth month flower. It's for July, and I just loved that I found it this year in artificial at the Dollar Tree. So I just snipped off the really fat end where it connects to the branch, and I kind of made them drape down on the sides there, just to give it a little bit more continuation around. Now I've placed this bow. I'm going to end up putting the hanger so that this actually is off center, but you guys can do whatever you want. Some people like their bow just in the top in the middle. I always like mine off to the side a little bit. You'll see that in the majority of my stuff. So once I have that, I've taken the pair of gloves and I glued a piece of jute to the gloves. Oh, sorry, I jumped ahead. First, we're going to put the gardening tools on there. Now, if you can't find these gardening tools, they do have other ones at the Dollar Tree. They're just not miniature. These ones are actually said, they were $1 from the Dollar Spot at Target. They were gifted to me, and they actually said succulent tools. I got these two, and I also got a little hole, like there's like a hole digger. So I just crisscrossed them, and I used a combination of twist ties and rubber bands, believe it or not, because I didn't want to glue the tools, because I wanted to be able to someday maybe take the tools out if I ever wanted to use them or use them for something else. Once I've done that, like I said, I glued a piece of jute to the back of the gloves, and I used it to be a removable bow. I tied it onto the wreath, and then I just zhuzhed it up. First I was trying to hide the handles of the tools, but then I realized that one handle sticking out of the top actually looked kind of cute. So now I decided where I want to hang mine, and I created a loop. We've created lots of these loops, guys. You fold a piece of jute in half, you tie a knot on the end. And for this one, instead of me gluing it on, because the willow wreath is so open, I just found one of the willow branches, and I fed it through and then looped it on, basically. I put the loop end through the knot end, between the two strings by the knot end, and that's how I created the loop hanger, and then just zhuzh it up. And here's how that one looks. I really do love this. I did change the bow, and I did take off the tools, and I'll show it to you in another video coming soon. But I really did love the way this came out, and as soon as she gifted me these tools, I knew exactly what I wanted to do with them. So for the next one, we're going to take this Hampton Wreath. We made this last year on our channel. Video is linked in the description box down below. And then we're going to take some of Dollar Tree's seashells, as well as some of the Dollar Tree's white rocks. And it's important that you get these because we're going to use that bag. Not only some white rocks, but we're going to use that bag. So we're going to use, this is going to be for a gift. So I wanted to make it that they could put the shells on in the summertime and give them other bows to kind of make their Hampton wreath sort of a forever wreath. So what I did was I took a piece of cardboard from this bow, and I was thinking originally about using this bow. It's just a little too big for this particular wreath, but we are going to steal a piece of its cardboard. I just cut it big enough to accommodate the wreath, and now I'm gluing 2 pieces of jute down on to the cardboard. I'm adding a little strip of glue, covering it with glue, but I'm making sure that one end of the jute sticks out way past the other one, because the short piece is going to go towards the outside of the wreath, and the long piece is going to go towards the inside of the wreath to tie it on. And now we're going to take that bag we talked about, and we're going to, it's already cinched closed on one side, so we're going to take the other side and we're going to cinch it closed with a rubber band. I know it's going super fast. I'm just tying a rubber band on the bag, guys. Don't worry about it. I'm cutting it in half, and then I noticed that the cinched bag, the cinched side, needs a rubber band because it was not really poofing the same way. So I basically just tied rubber bands on the ends of the 2 halves of the bag. And that's going to create like a net effect. That's what I made, that's what I was hoping it would look like, and that's what it ended up looking like. And now it's design time. You want to make yours symmetrical, asymmetrical, you want to have them all laying in a row, you want to have all the same color shells, you want to go to town. You guys go to town. Just make sure you put plenty of hot glue. The hot glue sticks to the cardboard really well. It sticks to the shell really well, but the shell-to-shell contact sometimes could be, if you don't put enough hot glue, could be an issue. So make sure you put plenty and it will stick. If you feel more confident using Gorilla hot glue, go ahead, I would do that. But this stuck pretty well for me. I don't know how long it's going to last over time, but it's done really well. But I'm just basically creating a design with some of the shells that were in the bag. Now, full disclosure, this is a bag of shells from the Dollar Tree. It is not the bag that I showed you. It is a bag that I got 2 years ago in 2017, and I just had some left over, so I wanted to use them in this project. So I just happened to go matchy-matchy. The shells that they may have where you live, when you get them, there are no exact amounts in the bag. The shells are not all the same. They do seem to always have some of these scallop shells, as well as some of the sea snail shells, which is like the conch shells. They seem to have like a combination of them, but I've never found any with like a dried starfish in it, but that would be awesome if there was a dried starfish in it. So I'm just going to go ahead and layer them and layer them. Then what I decided to do was to take those little white stones. I had a few left over, but I have a whole bag that I didn't want to open. But I just thought like to fill in the spaces would be cute. They sort of remind me of beach rocks. I don't know if you guys have ever lived by the water. If you have, God bless you too. But you know, when you go to the beach, there's not just sea glass and seashells. You know, you get all kinds of stuff. But these white beachy rocks, and these white beachy rocks, you know, where I lived were actually lots of times were just broken up pieces of shells. The seagulls would eat the clams out and then break off little pieces of the shell. There was also rocks. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's also rocks that wash up in the water too. But anyhow, what I decided to do is pile a few on in the like kind of the empty spaces. So I filled in a lot of glue, dropped them down like sprinkles or glitter, turned it over, knocked off all the loose ones, and repeated the process until basically I had the look that I wanted. Again, you could skip this step if you don't want this look, okay? Also, what would be cute, and I was thinking about this, is the Dollar Tree does sell sand. It would be cute also if you wanted to do some sand on here. But again, that was not where I wanted to take it. There's plenty of sand by this person's house. I wasn't worried about giving them some sand. Okay? So then when I finally have it the way I want to turn it over, and I'm going to add those 2 nets. Now, sorry I went through the net bag really fast, but this is basically the net bags from the rocks. Actually, the original bag of shells that I got came in a net bag as well. And what I actually just am doing is I rubber banded both ends, the open end and the closed end, and cut it in half to create 2 little poofs of net. Because that to me reminded me of nets my pop used to fish with. He used to catch killies. He had a killie basket, but then, you know, at times he would have like the killie net. And that's what he would use for bait for other bigger fish. Okay, so I'm just going to glue them onto the back, and they kind of create this like little bow effect. And now I'm just going to tie it onto the Hampton Wreath. This Hampton Wreath was inspired from a catalog. It was originally a $54 wreath that we made for like less than $5 with Dollar Tree nautical rope and jute. So I knew that I wanted to gift this to her when I saw that she had a life event coming up. So I just wanted to add these on there for her summertime. She loves the beach. She loves living by the beach, and she loves the beach, so I'm excited to give this to her when her big event comes. So I just wanted to show you a couple of spots there with that bow. Wasn't really good for it, so I just left it off, and here's how that one looks. I really do love it. I just love those little bursts of the net. I just think it softens up the shell, and the wreath just looks so masculine, and I think that little puff of net really does make a difference. This next one, we're going to use our Forever Wreath. We made this, and again, this video is linked in the description box down below. And we're going to use these flip-flop coasters. We're only going to use 1 pack, but I want to show you both. And we're going to use this drink holder inflatable. I know. And these are sort of the little garlands that were left over from one of the Easter basket DIYs. So basically when we did our DIY Easter basket, we took all that little garland off. I told you I'd save it. I told you it'd be coming up for something. You'll see. But I didn't know exactly what, kind of. When I was excited to see that they had these flip-flop coasters, I was off the chain because the project I was going to do was something a little different, but I'm so glad they have this. So what I'm going to repeat almost that same process. I want a little bit bigger piece of cardboard. I'm going to glue the jute onto it as well. Now, if you're using a different wreath and you want to glue ribbon on there instead, you can. I just know that both of these jute would blend into the backgrounds of both of these wreaths if they got seen. So what I've done is I've taken the two matching colors where it's like the pink with the purple flower, purple with the pink flower, and then the blue and yellow, and I purposely put the top two flowers towards the inside and the bottom two flowers towards the outside. Now I'm taking a strand of yellow, a strand of blue, and a strand of pink, which you notice match perfectly with these flip-flops, and I'm going to take them, twist the ends together because they are wired. I'm going to make a braid, basically a simple braid. It's not simple when you have to rearrange your whole craft area, but hey, you do what you got to do. So at first I forgot how to make a braid. I'm not kidding. It's really funny. I was going to start to do macrame, and I realized that a braid would be better because you get to see all three colors. But I thought that this could mimic a Hawaiian lei. Just a cheap and easy, inexpensive way to do it. Use old materials, and I think that it was appropriate size for the flip-flops. If I would have used any flowers or some flowers from the Dollar Tree, they definitely would have been too big in relation to the flip-flops and to the inflatable, which I'll show you in a second. And then I'm just draped that on. That's wired, so I pinched it on the back and I just draped it over the flip-flops. And now I'm taking the inflatable and I'm blowing it up, and I'm squeezing half the air out of the tube so I could squish it onto the wreath, make sure that it still looks nice and full. And then I've just put a piece of duct tape across the wreath. I happen to have burlap colored duct tape so it would blend in, but clear packing tape would work as well. And I just thought this was so cute. That's why I saved it to the end. It's my favorite. Hope you guys really enjoyed these tutorials. I'm telling you, these are like my favorite summer wreaths ever. He is so stinking cute. So if you do, please give this video a thumbs up, share with friends and family, anybody you know might be interested in making any of these projects. And if you haven't yet, click subscribe, and when you do, a little bell will pop up. When you ring that bell, YouTube will let you know whenever I upload a new video. And as always, take care, God bless, and we'll see you next time. Bye!